And we're back with a pop up. You know how I like to do these. This one comes about because of, well, several things. It's just kind of bothering me. Um, I've talked about this topic, hitting it from different angles several different times. I believe the first video I made about this, having kids by miscellaneous stray dudes was a video I made in maybe 2009, 2010. It's still on the channel. I will link it, later after this is done. I'll link it up, up to the top up there. But on this channel, what I try to promote is women focusing on being their best selves, being their best, not giving too much away to anybody, not feeling guilty about, keeping the best for themselves and pursuing their own goals, being focused on their needs and not really being too influenced by what outside forces expect you to be, want you to be, try to program you to be, and all this kind of stuff. Especially difficult lesson for African American women because of the influence of religion and our culture, which is very patriarchal, man centered, and service based for women. So I'm working hard against I can't even tell you how many generations of programming, and it's still difficult, and I still am shocked as much as I shouldn't be. I'm still shocked when I run into women in their 30s and 40s that still have that mentality. It's like if you read any newspapers, magazines, and watch any news reports, then you can see what's going on in the world with women and how we have to really focus on bettering ourselves because nobody's going to do that for us. Okay. Now, in this vein, is women having children with men that they aren't with, men that don't want children, and men that ain't about shit. Okay, I put them all in one bundle because the impact on the woman and the impact on the child are exactly the same. Unless you are bawling, the economic impact is going to be phenomenal because infant daycare period is off the charts. And a lot of young women think, well, I can just get a subsidy, I can get this and that, I can get food stamps, I can get Section 8, I can get all stuff. So, me and my baby gonna live fine. You do understand that those programs are being cut everywhere. Every time you turn around, they're being cut, and there's no guarantee that they will still be there when a couple of years from now, while you're depending on them now having this child that you can't afford. So what shocks me though is with all of this talk about black women being the most educated and us being the most progressive, we're trying to make, be big movers and shakers. How many women are still stuck on this thing that if a child of theirs gets pregnant, now this is an accident, if a child gets pregnant, they want to force her to have the baby. Now, the mentality is, we don't believe in abortion and that's family. Right now, it's nothing. It's just a thought. You know what I mean? Now, you keep letting it grow in there, then yes, it will be. But if you catch it early, it's nothing but a fantasy of what could be. What bothers me so much about this is these are young girls. Some of them 14, 15, 16 years old. They're not out of high school yet. They don't have no job. They don't have a high school diploma. They don't have a college degree. They don't have nothing. They have nothing. So with you putting a child in a position of having to care for and raise a child, why would you do that to your daughter? See, this is like bugging me. It's making me feel crazy because if you love your daughter, don't you want her to have the best opportunities that she can have? Why do you want to saddle her down with a child, knowing as a parent yourself how much work that is, how much exhaustion you suffer, how much financial and emotional and physical energy you have to give out to this other person? And you got somebody who's a kid, they don't even have the mental or emotional capabilities to balance all of that yet. A lot of women in their 20s and 30s know they don't have it either. So it just really bothers me, but I want to show you some slides. And this is what I was looking at today while I was online. Okay, this was the question that was posed Posted rather. If your teenage daughter gets pregnant, which one would you suggest that she do? Get an abortion, adopt it, or keep it? Now, this question was posted on a page of a black male who does a lot of, discussions about relationships and stuff like that. So the majority of the respondents, I'd say 98%, were black. Okay, the rest were something else, Latina or whatever. Okay, so most of them were women. There were a couple of guys. All right, but I want to show you some of the responses, and you can tell. We'll talk about them in a minute. First, let's talk about this. This story just hit yesterday, I believe it was. This woman, that little baby that you see on the far left, was stabbed and baked in an oven by her grandmother, which is the woman on the far right. The grandmother was is only 48. The baby's 21. The mama's in the middle. We don't know how old she is. But for some reason, she did not have her child with her. The child was dumped off on the mother, the grandmother. Now, at 48, most people are going through menopause. That's not a good time to have them with as much as responsibilities of a child. And we also don't know what else is going on in this woman's life. It hasn't been revealed yet, what her mental state was, was she on meds? I mean, what's going on with her? Her eyes look a little off. So I'm, kind of concerned. But when you look at this young mother, it's like, okay, why did you have to have a baby that you was gonna dump on your mama? What the fuck was you thinking? And as the mother, I would refuse to do that. Nope, you created that problem. That's your problem. Get out of my house. Don't bring nothing like that to me. But a lot of people did not have that way of thinking, which I will show you. But this is what happens, in a situation where the mother didn't, she raised her daughter, and now this her daughter has a baby and brings the baby and gives it to her to take care of. So this woman has to deal with the financial aspect of that as well as the exhaustion because the young little babies like that take up, I mean, you don't get any sleep. They're always into something. That's too much for somebody who's that age to watch every day, all day long. So then we move on to the next one. Now, these are starting to be the answers or the comments to the question that were posted by men and women. Most of them are women. The guys you will see because I use their full first name. So, this woman says that her daughter would be consistently educated. Most of them are. So that's not even an issue. Most of the girls know how to use birth control. They just don't do it. And then she says if she got caught, then she would make her get an abortion. No babies until you're married and able to raise them. That's very, I mean, that's to me good parenting. And so then, some of these women were talking about, well, it would be her decision. I probably should have put this slide a little later, but some of the women are saying that it would be their decision. And my thing is, if you got a teenager that you see is kind of dumb and they don't make good decisions because otherwise they wouldn't be in the shit that they're in right now, right? Why would you put something that important that's going to affect her life for the rest of her life and not just her life but that child's life too? Why would you put that decision in the hands of someone who's already proven that they don't have good sense and don't make good decisions? Why would you do that? See, I wasn't understanding these women's logic. Well, it's her body, it's her decision. It's not her decision. And we'll go on, but that was my response to her. I was like, oh my God, well, to them. And this woman says, I wouldn't suggest anything. She's a child. We're keeping it. That's my grandchild. If my daughter couldn't take care of it, I would. I wouldn't, because I'm not doing that. To me, that's like codependency. You create some problems, and then I have to swoop in with my cape on to save you from the problem that you created. No, you thought that was a good idea. You're going to deal with all the problems associated with it. I'm not dealing with nothing. I've already done my thing. I'm through. So you take your kid and your baby daddy, and y'all go on over there somewhere and leave me out of it. So when you have that kind of attitude to me, it discourages girls from getting pregnant. Even if they do, they already know where they're gonna go, or they take care of it before they even tell you that they're pregnant because they already know they're not gonna have any help. But if they look at an option like, well, this is an option, my mama gonna help me, my daddy gonna help me. well, I could just have this baby anyway, and somebody's gonna be there to catch me. Then no, then of course they're going to do that because they don't really suffer anything. There's no repercussions for that stupid decision. That's what I'm trying to say. And see, there we go. That's my response. It's like shit. I wasn't the one in bed fucking. So if I wasn't the one in there fucking, then whatever happens because of that fucking that y'all did, that's y'all's problem. But these women were just like, on my case, they were like, oh my God, you're just a horrible person. Like, well, one thing about it is you don't see my daughter with no damn baby. And then this woman got a little defensive. And she's like, well, I know half y'all on this post was fucking before you should have. And it was only by the grace of God that you didn't conceive a child. Reading this is super sad to me. It's like, well, I mean, even if they weren't fucking, they didn't have no baby. So what's the problem? And why is that sad? I didn't get it, but whatever. And now this woman says her daughter got pregnant twice in a row. Twice in a row. Okay. Why did that happen twice in a row? Because you stepped in and you took care of the first one. So since she had no problem having the first one because you took care of that problem, then she gonna go and she gonna do it again. And this is common. I see that a lot. They don't stop at one when the parents step in. Sometimes they have three or four. But so she said she graduated with honors and she did all this great stuff. But she could have done all of that in half the time if she didn't have a baby. She could have gone further and faster instead of just now getting her working on her master's. She could have been finished with her master's and working on a doctorate. You see what I'm saying? So, kids, it slow you down. No matter how much help you have, they still slow you down. And this woman says, I gave all the options to her, told her whichever one she chose, I would stand behind her. I'm not doing that. This one says I would encourage her to keep it. I don't support abortion unless medically necessary. And this one says tough, but definitely not abortion. Okay, so see, it's like this punishing of the girl because of this accident. You want her to suffer for the rest of her life having a baby because of your belief system. This last one really tough, but definitely not abortion. So it's like the girl just has to have the baby. It's because her parents are going to make her. That's some fucked up shit right there. And this daddy, he's the daddy. He says, I would raise it and tell her to finish school and get a degree, then she can be the mama. And if the baby made it to this world, then it's supposed to be here. But I'm not gonna let her off the track. I'm gonna let her know off the rip. You better not be no more babies until you own your own and establish. Okay, so he did the one time it's an accident, but you do that shit again, we gonna have a problem kind of position. I guess that's a pretty decent compromise, but I'm still not doing it. And then this lady says, I prefer to keep it, but let the choice be hers. Everything in life is not always a quick fix. The fuck it's not. I wouldn't suggest anything, her choice, her decision. How is it her choice and her decision? When you got somebody who's young who don't have no money, they don't have their own place, they don't have their own car, they don't have their own job most of the time. They're still in high school. And they don't have shit, not even a GED. So why do you want that person to have all this choice and all this decision making power when you're going to have to step in with your wallet, your checkbook, your time, your energy, your home, your car, your health insurance? Everything's going to be on you. And so why is that her choice and her decision? I'm the one writing the checks. It's my choice and my decision. You did, Bianca? Well, I'm sure that does happen. The prevailing belief that women don't need a man to raise a child. Hmm. Well, you might not need a man, but you still need some goddamn money. So you don't have no money and you don't have no man. I mean, what the fuck? What are you thinking? What you doing here? Okay, and this guy, he says he's pro-life, no abortion at all. See, men are always pro-life. They want women to suffer with some fucking babies. I'm not suggesting anything. That baby must go unless she's 18. I don't care what other nobody says. See, she think like me. And this woman was a teen mom at 16. Was it easy for her parents to accept it? No, but she's happy that they weren't judgmental and they supported me through it. But see, that was their choice. Other parents will make a different choice. They don't want to support you through some fuckery. So you fucked up. What you gonna do to fix it? Yeah, you better come up with a right answer because you only get one abortion. Okay, and other than that, then anything else you choose is not going to be happening under this roof. I don't know where you're going to go and what you're going to do, but you better figure it out real quick because you up the fuck out of here. I'm not dealing with that. That's just how I am. I'm not going to deal with it. So this lady says abortion, given an option, letting her choose. My same answer about no money stands there. We go through it as a family, and I would be a grandmother. See what she thinks. She's not thinking, obviously. She's not good at it. So, if she was thinking, then she would have used some birth control. So, you talking about what she's thinking, don't ask her nothing. Her brain is not working very well. I do the thinking around here from here on out because obviously you don't know how to do it very well. Her decision, the fuck it is. We're going to keep it since they use fetal tissue for flavoring and child sacrifice is a terrible thing. Oh my God. Yeah, it is easy for men to say that. You're right. Because even in the situation where I slow showed you the slide where the grandmother put the baby in the oven, the grandfather was there and talking about, you know, how great it was to have his kid there, but his ass wasn't at the house all day with the baby. It was her. So, the grandmother's exhausted and she's too old. You guys are still together. That's good, Bianca. I hope it's a happy still together. Oh well, you was 20. That's older. We're talking about teenagers, minors here. These are minor kids. And this lady says she would have definitely kept her grandbaby and roughed it out. And that's the thing. To me, that's kind of a romantic notion, and that seems to be a lot of the difference. I'm very pragmatic, and I look at the reality. Babies cost money. You don't have none, so you don't need a baby. End of story. But you have these romantic visions. Oh my God, it's such a blessing. Oh, we must keep it. Oh, it's so cute. All this old stuff with no concern for who's going to be providing discipline, education, clothes, shoes, and medical care, and daycare expenses, and buying diapers, and wipes, and formula, and bottles, and all the stuff that infants and toddlers and growing children need. Who's going to be paying for all of that? And this woman says, I don't condone abortion. It's up to the teenager, but since I'm the mama, I'm going to tell her to keep it. Just know that this is a long road up ahead, and mommy will be there every step of the way. Okay, what if mommy goes out the door? You got this baby, right? Mama visits you at the hospital. On her way back from the house, she gets hit in a car, dies in a car accident. Don't laugh because this shit happens every day. Okay, now what? Now you got this damn baby. You was dependent on your mother to take care of it, and she ain't here to help you now. What you gonna do? See, that's why people, as adults, you need to have your own shit working that does not depend on other people to fly because you never know what's going to happen to them. Her mother could have a stroke and be incapacitated her damn self. There's all kind of things that could happen where you're depending on someone else to make your life work and then they can't follow through on what they thought what they could. What are you going to do? Where is the reality check there? Mommy's going to be there every step of the way. That's not mommy's decision. That's a higher power's decision. And mommy might check up out of here the next day. So, this is something you have to think about. These girls don't be thinking. I guess these mamas don't either. And see, these are three more people that, are going to make their daughter keep the baby. Um, this woman got coerced into it by her older sister. I thought that was kind of odd. But she feels like if she would have gotten pregnant, um, she wouldn't have had an abortion. And it's a parent's job to teach you how to protect yourselves and how to get through the trials of life. But now that I'm older, I'm making my business to talk to my girls about everything. And that's great. Conversation is great. Education is great. That does not prevent pregnancy and that avoids the question. But in spite of all that training and education and all that stuff that you did, your daughter turns up pregnant and she comes home pregnant. What are you going to do? That was the question. Not all this avoidance about what I'm going to teach them and all this old stuff that she went off on this sidetrack. That don't have nothing to do with the question. And all she never answered it other than to say, what would have happened? She wouldn't have got an abortion. And I was like, yes, you are. You under my control as a minor child. You do what the fuck I tell you. And your ass is getting an abortion. And that's it. You could be mad at me for the rest of your life if you want to, but it's not going to change anything. That's what's going to happen. I'm in charge. You until your ass is 18 and you get up out of my house. I make decisions about your health and I make decisions about your body and I also make them about my money. So you put that together, that's a trifecta. You're getting an abortion whether you want one or not. That's it. The end. I think Tamiko, girl, you are so on it. I was going to talk about that, but you beat me to the punch. That's exactly it. Because they have this negative attitude I noticed about it's like this punishment kind of air about it. No, she gonna have it. I'm gonna make her have, this and that. And it's like, why? It's like you can't like accept your daughter as a sexual being, which I do. But it's like, but you have to understand there's repercussions that come with that. And at this moment, you have options in our society right now. You don't have to have a baby like you did in the 1800s. Now you have options. You need to avail yourself of them and pick up where you left off and continue your life as a teenage girl, which is what you're supposed to be doing. And, leave all that adult stuff for adults. Now, this woman focused on this abortion. A lot of people have this mentality that if you get an abortion, that you're going to be like all fucked up in the head and grieving and in a mental institution about it and all this kind of stuff. I don't know one woman, not ever have I met one who had expressed that kind of belief. There were some who were kind of, sorry that the situation in their life, kind of forced them to do that. But, they weren't like beating themselves up about it. And the majority of women were elated. They were like excited and happy and relieved. So I'm not sure, where she got that from or why she thinks that that's the only way that women will feel about having an abortion, but whatever. Okay, and then that's the end of the slides. So, though, I just wanted to kind of go over those with you guys and get an idea of what you thought because um, this is a big thing, especially in the black community. It's like, I'm saying it kind of ties in to what we try to do here. It's like if I'm trying to work to empower women to get you to be your best self, to advance your cause as much and fast as possible, to help your daughters advance theirs, there has to be some decisions made, ladies, about the role of you being a mother, the timing of that, and the appropriateness of it for your stage of life. And this has to be done without a bunch of emotions and guilt tripping and all of this. It has to be done in a logical, sane way as far as the decision that is the best for the way that you are right now and what you anticipate for, say, the next 5 years. And if you look at that and you see that your shit is still raggedy, you're a student, you don't have no money, you got to finish school, you don't even have your high school diploma yet. You talking about you want to go to college, you want to become a this or a that, you want to travel, you want to do these things. Well, don't you think that 20 minutes of fun that you had that one time that got you pregnant and you decided to have this baby, that's going to make all the rest of your life different for over that 20 minutes that you had with that dude. See, to me, that makes no sense. That makes no sense. It's like women just sacrifice too much. And it's like, like the things here, it's like the guilt tripping that's levied upon a woman who doesn't want to have a child or who just refuses to let her daughter go down that path. You get, "Oh, I'm sad to read this. I had a baby and, blah, blah, blah." And they start telling you about how fucked up their life was. It's like, so? I mean, that was a decision that you made. Good for you. What, you want a cookie? So you decided to be a breeder at 16, 15, 14 years old. Good for you. I mean, but this girl over here don't need to follow in those footsteps. She needs to do something different. She needs to be better, greater, and faster, and now. And so that's why, I'm really, I'm urging parents, everybody, of course, is going to have to make their decision that's based on whatever is their, religious beliefs and their economic status or whatever. I am merely pointing out that this emotional connection to babies is detrimental to black women. It's detrimental to the black community. You do not have a baby unless you are prepared to parent it fully and responsibly. In this county, in Alameda County where I live, There are more black children in foster care here than there are all the kids of all the other races put together. Black kids are more than half the population of foster care kids in Alameda County, and this is a huge county in Northern California, a very densely populated county. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Oakland, San Leandro, Hayward, Berkeley, Alameda, uh, what's the name of this little city down the street way? I can't think right now. I can't think. But anyway, it's a huge county, out Pleasanton, Dublin, all out in there. I mean, all of this area is Alameda County is huge. And you got more black kids in foster care than all the other races of children combined. What does that tell you? That means black people are just too fucking attached to these having babies. You can't do that. Don't make your girls do that. Please think about their future and think about the life that the kids gonna be subjected to. They just think about, oh well, we gonna have it. That's our family, this and that. And if something happens to the parent that was taking care of it, then that mother can't take care of the kid's going right to foster care. That didn't have to happen. That child didn't have to be facing a life of abuse and sexual abuse and neglect and all the stuff that I've seen happen in kids in foster care. My mother used to do foster care after we moved out. Had that big ass 10-room house, so we fixed it up. She had some foster kids up in there. And those little kids would come in there and they would tell us the most horrific stories about sexual abuse. I mean, even the boys. So it's like, before they got to her house, where they finally felt safe, because it was just unbelievable to me that people just have such a closed mind and they don't think about the kids. They only think about, well, I don't believe in it. I don't, so you gonna have it. And not thinking about, okay, well, what's gonna happen to this little baby after we get it here? Then what? What kind of quality of life is it gonna have? And they don't seem to think about that. Yeah, they don't get adopted. There's a black adoption agency here. They constantly be on people trying to get them to adopt them kids. Don't nobody want none because they know too afraid that the kids are born from some crackhead or the mother was didn't eat right and the kids got brain damage or something. Nobody wants them kids. They don't. They just age out in foster care or in a group home some damn where, and then they kicked out and they on their own struggling, or they end up in jail because they don't have any money. So then they end up, being prostitutes or whatever, or doing other kinds of crime, and they end up in jail, in prison. So you guys, come on now. This I know people get very emotional. That's a sin. God, it's a blessing. Jesus. Blah blah blah. And I just don't like that. What'd you say? It's the way they keep their child in the crab pot. Many black mothers are jealous of their daughters. Oh, well, I'm not going to say that you're not right because there's too much evidence that you are at 100% correct. Yep, Deb, and then what? I'm telling you, that's the best question ever. I probably will link that too, right up where is it? Up here, I'll put it up there when I get finished with the show. So you can just click it and you can watch that video. See, it's two videos called And Then What? And basically, what And Then What does is guide you to learn how to think and not just think about what's going on right now, but like a choice A, B, C, D. So if I do A, then this C, D, and E is going to happen. If I do B, then A, Z, and T is going to happen. So that you can have the idea in your mind of the possible repercussions and impacts of each decision that you might make, so that you already have it planned out and you already think, but don't just go through life reacting emotionally. So that's what these girls do. I'ma have my baby. Ain't nobody gonna tell me I can't have my baby. And it's like, okay, but how you gonna take care of your baby that you want to have so bad? Where you gonna live at? Because you ain't living here. And then they sit there and look at you. And how you gonna feed it? Because you don't have a job. You ain't using my money. And where you gonna get diapers from? Because you don't have no money. They ain't free. And you ain't. I'm not buying them. So what you gonna do? When all of this reality starts hitting your ass, then what's your decision? See, this is and then what? And then send them on to go to some daycare centers and see how much that shit costs for infant care. They're more than they make in a month with their little minimum wage making asses. So it's like you can't afford a child. You tripping. You think I'm gonna be subsidizing that bullshit? Was I in the band fucking? No. And so I'm not giving you shit. So that's just the reality of it. Yes, a lot of it is religion. And, it really, like, these men be talking about, well, we going to be a family, we going to this and that. Unless he does this, like right here, this so that you end up, when the kid is born to Mr. and Mrs. So and so, and just, it still shows your married parents on the birth certificate. Don't believe that shit. Because soon as the baby gets here and the novelty wears off, they going to sky up. I mean, for the first kid, they be excited because it's something new. They're like, all enthralled with it because it looks like them and they feel like, ooh, I made it. It's like a new toy. But soon as, the excitement wears off, then they going to be on down the road doing whatever it is they want to do and leaving you with that baby while you crying and trying to get 30 or $50 out of them to buy the baby food and diapers. It doesn't make any sense to put yourself in that kind of trick bag. Yeah, white girls too. You right, because everybody's getting trifling these days. But I was talking about black ones because of the high numbers of black kids in foster care, and because this question was posted on a black male's page on Facebook. So but I mean, the issue of how these dudes do the women that they have babies by, that's universal. That's across the board. They just act stupid when they have a baby and it's an out of wedlock child. The best thing women could do is, if you have a situation like that, I did a video on it. This man wanted the baby, right? She's like, okay. So she had the baby. They went to the lawyer. They went to court. They did everything, but, tied up all the loose ends. She had the baby. She gives him the baby. And she's paying child support. They tell her to pay, like, I don't know, just say $400. Well, she was paying more. She was paying five. And so, then the dude was writing because he was angry that she wasn't helping him with the baby. But she told you she didn't want a baby. She gave, and she's like paying like a grip in child support, way more than your average brother be paying, right? And so, and she's paying over the court ordered amount. Okay. So he had nothing to complain about. He's the one who wanted the baby. He begged her for this damn baby. So I think in situations like that, I mean, if you don't want to give your baby to foster care and you don't want to, you can't be the mama, give the baby. Daddy wants a baby, give the baby to him. But again, the kid still might end up in foster care because there's no guarantee he's going to, I mean, he's going to get to the point where he can't handle it anymore and he's going to call social services and the kid's going to end up in foster care anyway. So, like I said, the best thing to do is to not even go that route. This is my opinion. Looking at the numbers, looking at the damaged children we have roaming around in society that came from group homes and foster care situations. They're criminals. They're mentally ill. They're abused. They suffer from PTSD from all the abuse that they suffered while they were in these 30 or 40 different foster care homes. People not thinking about that. All they thinking about, oh, I'm pro-life. I don't believe in that. So, but you believe in torturing children. That's what you're saying. So I don't know. I was just really on one because I was just so disgusted that so many of these mothers, and these, like I said, these were 98% black women that was responding to this thing, were all in favor of forcing their daughters to have a baby, even if she didn't want to have it. No, no abortions in our house. She having it kind of attitude, like, but she doesn't. What if she doesn't want it? What if she already knows she can't be a mother? She's not interested in being a mother. It was an accident. She coming to tell you that she's pregnant because she needs your help to get, to get the situation under control. And she wants to continue with her life. It was like a momentary thing. It was a mistake. And so, but you're gonna punish her for the rest of her life over and over again, having her saddled with this baby and this child and all the stuff that comes with being a single mother. You're going to force that on your daughter because of that little mistake that she made. I would never do that to my child. Never. Never. And like I said, even if I saw that she wasn't thinking too clearly about it because she might be too emotional, I'm taking her to the abortion clinic. She could hate me the rest of her life, but she will be hate me without a damn baby. And that's all that counts. Yeah, they like to trap you with a baby. That's why they be trying to, and my daddy warned me about that, how they will sabotage your birth control. He warned me. And this was I was like 12, and I'm like, I knew about this stuff. I mean, I knew about, the ovum and the sperm, and, I knew the whole thing scientifically, but I had never, done anything like that. But my father was pip me to the game, hit me to the game real quick. He's like, let me tell you about these little motherfuckers and how they gonna be coming at you. And so, I had plenty of game. By the time I was 13 or 14 years old, I knew all kinds of shit about men and their trifling ways and the stuff that they would be saying. He just held no, he was, yeah, they gonna say this, they gonna say that. And sure enough, as soon as I started dating and that's exactly the shit that was happening, I was like, damn, he was right. This is crazy. You got trapped in your league. Oh, yeah. Well, if you had been my daughter, you wouldn't that wouldn't have happened. We would have been at the, how they do in the cartoons where they grab somebody and the person they running so fast that the person's like flying in the back like a kite. That would have been you, and the one pulling you would have been me as we headed to the nearest abortion clinic. Please, I'm a real woman. Let me. You know how you prove you a real woman? When you can go and you have a wad of money that you made and you can make it rain. Okay, there's your real woman for you. These chicks be up here with $50. Oh, I got to make this last until my next payday and all that kind of stuff. No, we ain't doing that. We ain't living like that. My daughter's not living like that. I'm not gonna have her do that. Your mother had 9 siblings, and of the three of them, only three of them got married. Wow. I'm just saying. That's true. And the health issues, JC Moore, thank you for bringing that point up. Because, all these studies keep coming out. I was just reading an article the other day about medical care for African American women and how the infant mortality and the maternal death rate in black women is so high, even for women that are not poor. I mean, we're talking about professional women with like platinum Visa cards and black cards and they own homes and making major bank and stuff. They go into these hospitals, especially in and around New York. I understand it's a very high maternal infant rate and infant rate for black women and black children there. And so I'm like, shit, I wouldn't have nothing if I lived in New York. I would get the fuck up out of there to have my baby. I would not be having no baby in New York City. But I was horrified to read how the statistics are there for black women. And this is a reality. I mean, these are like, legitimate statistics on death rates of black women. There was some guy who was I just saw it briefly because I was walking downtown, and you know how they have TVs in windows of stores and stuff, and it showed this brother getting ready to make a presentation, I think to Congress or some kind of Senate hearing or some kind of thing like that. And he was talking about how his wife died in childbirth, or right after giving birth to their child, and how it could have been prevented, but the doctors, all the white doctors, just ignored her complaints, and the woman died. So, and again, a black woman. So it's the kind of thing that you got a black teenage, teenage bodies aren't really developed enough to be had. They're not supposed to be birthing babies yet. They're still growing. And so this is a big risk that you're having for your child and for the baby too. I mean, I don't know. This is just a really bothersome thing, and it's like it really makes me wonder. It's like, how do you feel that the black community can change, that black women can move forward like with speed and grace, and just really make some really powerful and strong moves if everybody's stopping to have babies by nignogs? How does that work? It's like you just like you putting brakes on yourself and saddling yourself down with something that you don't have to do. That's just stupid. These dudes are nothing. Their kids are just you just be saddled down with a burden. They just drive you crazy. They don't give you no money. They're not interested in the kid. The kids are emotionally devastated because they have no relationship with their father. They're all fucked up. The girls get older. They start looking for a father, and all these older men, they get sexually molested by these older dudes who use that neediness for a father figure against them. The boys are lost and confused. They out here running around acting like women because they only around women. They don't know. They don't have a good man in their sphere to role model for them. It's a hot mess. You guys have to think about this kind of stuff. Just don't think about, oh, it's a cute little baby and we don't believe in abortion. What? And then what? After you have it, then what? What is the next 10 or 20, 30 years going to look like for this kid that you sitting up here just so busy wanting to have it? What is you going to give the child? What are you going to provide for the child? What is this life going to be like? Be realistic. And you know you don't have shit. You're gonna bring the baby to the projects and shit and have it, be finding needles and all this stuff. Don't be having all these damn kids. It just drives me crazy. It drives me nuts. It's like you just choosing to weigh yourself down. It's like a lot of women seem like they're afraid of success or something. They're afraid to achieve afraid to be like the best that they can be. And it just makes you wonder, what is it? Why do you want yourself to fail? You set yourself up to fail. You choose failure over success because you put things in your way, hurdles in your way that you didn't have to put there. And then you just stops because you can't leap over that with this all this weight on your back. You can't leap over the hurdle, so you just get stuck. And so many women do that to themselves. And now we see these women, these mothers are making their daughters be stuck. You should never do that to your daughter. This is the person you're supposed to love, and you're supposed to be protecting her and helping her be the best woman that she can be, not make the mistakes that you made. But so many of these women are like, well, I did it. And I had my baby, so my daughter, she gonna have her baby too. Instead of saying, no, that was some fucked up shit. I hated that I did that to myself. I didn't get to finish school. I didn't get to do anything. We're not having that for you. So and I'm not taking care of it because I already done that. So we're gonna go over here. We're gonna handle that. We're gonna get your ass on some birth control. And then we don't want to have this experience again. Am I clear? And she'll be like, yes, mama. And then you all go on and do what you need to do. You got to be your daughter's advocate. Sometimes, they get caught up because they start listening to shit out in the street. Their stupid friends start telling them stuff. These boys be in their ear telling them dumb shit. Your pastors in their ear telling them dumb shit. So you have to be the voice of reason in your daughter's life and keep her on track. Don't let people derail her from her success and the shit that she can do. Your daughter's smart. Your daughter's beautiful. She has a brilliant future ahead of her. Why would you let her stop her train by having a damn baby? What you do that to her for? She hates that image. I don't know. There seriously is something wrong there because to me, it's that kind of mentality is the opposite of a loving mother. It's like you trying to get your daughter in a setup where she's just suffering with some bullshit. You know, what's really going on in your head, mama, that you want to do that to your daughter? Talking about we don't believe it. No, that's you that doesn't believe in that. Don't put your shit on your daughter. She needs to be a kid. Now it's unfortunate. Sometimes these little girls get pregnant because they think they in love, right? They in love, and there's some older dude. A lot of these dudes that get these teenage girls pregnant are already in their 20s. They lurk around high schools and stuff. And they pick these little girls, and the little girls all impressed because they have a car and all this stuff. And, nice clothes. The guy buys them shit, show clothes from little discount stores and whatnot. But it's, nice stuff that they never had before. And the next thing the dude talks them into, I love you. We can make a family. I'll always be there for you, girl. Girl, I can do stuff for you that your mama can't do for you, blah, blah, blah. And then the next thing she's having sex with him and, not really understanding what's really going on and how he's, basically groomed her. And then the next thing she's pregnant and her life is fucked. And he on to the next one. That's on to the next one. Let me see them of these. Yeah, Rika, that's me too. Shit, I was in college by the time I had my first kiss. I had friends that in high school I had one girl that was in middle school. Was they used to it used to be called junior high and it went to the ninth grade, but now that's middle school, I guess, or something. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, the grade things have changed. But anyway, ninth grade, so we still in junior high school. We have not gone to high school yet. And she had been messing around with some dude who was in high school. He was a senior. And she couldn't graduate from junior high because she was already pregnant. And she had three more kids by this dude later. So I don't know if she ever graduated, finished high school. And then I had another friend in high school who got pregnant. She had twins. And but she ended up marrying that guy. I don't know if they're still married. And another friend who was half Japanese and half something else, and I think Polish or something. And anyway, she wasn't black, but she had her same little boyfriend, and she got pregnant, and they ended up getting married too. So I don't know. And I'm looking at me at that age. Shit, I was still in the Girl Scouts, riding bikes with my brothers, learning how to sew, hanging out with my grandmother, learning how to cook. I was doing other kinds of stuff other than sexual things. It was just like the furthest thing from my mind. Yeah, they do. Black Obsidian, in case you missed this on the chat stream, says you hear men talk about intentionally making women a single mom. Yeah, because they want to. I did a article like that. It's on surviving dating, and it's called "Don't Fall for the Baby Mama Okie Doke." Don't fall for the baby mommy okie doke, which you can find, and I list all the shit that they tell young girls to try to get them to have a baby and trick them into having a baby just so they can fuck up their life. It's on survivingdating.com. That's the website. Survivingdating.com. And I had another article that was so powerful. I actually sold it to a textbook company that wanted to have. It's like a sociology book, and they put my article in there as an essay, and I got a grant for it. And I was like, shoot, that's fine, because I didn't write it. I already wrote it for my blog. They wanted to use it. I was like, give me some money. So they sent me a check for $1,000. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But it's called when the children of single parents end up dead. Just like this little girl that we started talking about at the top of the show. A lot of these kids born to these young mothers don't make it, and there's that's the link to it. That's good, so it'll show in the stream. But when did I write this thing? In 2011. Uh, yeah, September 21st, 2011. It went up on the blog, and I give some different stories about how um, these young mothers 20, 21, 22 years old at 16, young. How they shake the kids, they hit the kids, they throw the kids, they're frustrated and they're immature. It takes a lot of patience to deal with an infant. And these young women don't tend to have it. And so they don't mean to kill the baby, but because they're so young and immature, um, that's unfortunately what happens. And in this situation, in one of them, I'm talking in Los Angeles, a 17-year-old father kidnapped his 5-month-old baby after calling the child's mother and threatening to hurt the child. An Amber Alert was issued. When police saw the suspect and attempted to stop him, he fatally stabbed the infant. They just watched in horror. The deputies were helpless to stop him. And statistically, it's the children that are the most vulnerable. 1/3 of the reported victims of child abuse are under the age of 2. So I'm sorry, under the age of 4, but most of them are like around 2 years old. 2-year-olds seem to be the biggest victim for child abuse and child murder. I don't understand what it is, but it might have something to do with that, that terrible two thing where they want to yell and throw things and stuff. They make people feel crazy. And so the fathers get in on it too. It's just not the mothers. But I'm just saying, as the mother of a daughter, you're in a position to either help fuck up or to help keep your daughter's life on track. And it's a great responsibility to be somebody's mother, especially the mother of a teenager, because that's when they're gonna be trying to flex and spread their wings and all that stuff, and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're dumb. They just run around like the hormone machines or something. And they're very emotional, and they tend to make decisions based on those emotions. You have to be the voice of reason and calm. You cannot get caught up in your emotions and be just stupid just like them. Then you got two stupid people trying to make a decision. That's just really a bad scene. So, I'm glad you guys, understand where I'm coming from with this, because it's not like I hate babies. It's not like I don't want people to have children. That's not what I'm saying at all. So let me just clarify that. What I'm saying is, let's do this responsibly. Let's do this logically. Let's do this when we have some shit in place to make sure that not only our lives, but the lives of our children are going to be productive, safe, that they have every opportunity that they deserve to have, and that we're not struggling. Your kids, if you're in a situation where you get like half employed, you shouldn't be having a baby, because you need to keep the lights on. You need to keep your kid in clothes. You need to have food for them to eat that's nourishing so that they can grow well and that their brains will develop. You don't want your kid to grow, have an IQ of like 95 and shit because of poor prenatal and poor infant nutrition. That's when their brains are still developing the most. You got to make sure that you eat well, and so does your child. This is imperative. And teenagers want to eat candy and just junk food all the time and stuff. Trying to have a baby, smoking weed, smoking cigarette, just drinking, just stupid. It just makes no sense. So as a parent, you need to step in. You see their child is all off into left field. What you gonna do? Why don't you help your daughter, think this through in a way that makes sense and a way that saves her? Usually you got to help save them from themselves. That's the unfortunate thing, that you got to save them from themselves, because teenagers just don't know what end is up. They think they know everything, but they really don't know anything. And that's why you got to be a strong parent. You have to be able to say no to them. You have to be able to say, well, that's not going to work. And, I mean, but really a lot of people just have a hard time saying no to their kids, and sticking with it. But yes, Jesus is right. Oh, this is almost as bad as Tell It Tuesday, because this is such a heavy thing. This is such a thing, such a issue in the black community. Which you got, they statistics say between 70 and 80% of black children live in a single parent home, and that most of those are with their mother, and most of those are in low income to poverty level homes. Now there's some sisters who's balling, but those are the minority. The majority are of black children are being raised in single parent homes that are at the poverty level or maybe just above. So you have, to consider that. What does that mean for the child? I don't think any child deserves to have to live in a situation like that. In a place where there's roach infested and rats and shit, and drug deals going down outside the door and all this kind of stuff. So then people are like, well, you're saying that poor people shouldn't have kids. That's not right. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, if you know that that's the situation you're gonna put your kid in, and that's the risk that the child's gonna face, and the child's most likely gonna get molested, or if it's a teenage girl, it's gonna get raped, or it's gonna get killed from gunfire, or the gangs are gonna snatch up your son, or your kid is gonna get snatched, because that's where the sex traffickers pick up their kids at the foster homes and all this stuff. The group homes where the kids don't have any protector. That's the setup that you're going to put this baby in that you want to have so bad. Please explain to me what sense it makes for you to do that. Okay, it's like, do you hate this little kid that much that you want to do that to it? You really? You're that selfish? So it has nothing, get on your feet better. Get your shit straight more. Work two jobs if you have to. Then have a baby. That's what I'm saying. Give the baby some choices, and give the baby some options. Give the baby a way to be a success in life. Don't put the baby in a situation where it's behind the eight ball as soon as it takes its first breath. That makes no sense to me. That just makes no sense. And I like, yeah. Well, yes, you have to make sure he's not a child molester. But I saw a video today. Some girl was recording her mother's boyfriend, supposed to be driving her to work, right? She's a little teenager, and he's holding her hand and feeling on her crotch and all this stuff in the car. And the girl had her phone, and she was recording it. What's going to happen about that? I don't know, but it was deeply disturbing, and he just felt, like that was okay to do that. So these boyfriends, y'all and these boyfriends, a lot of times, you have like these girls be pregnant by one dude, and then before they could even have a baby or just had the baby, they already got a new dude over that kid. It's like men don't really do well with other men's children. So, and they're already on edge. Men don't do well around infants, period. So, you got a man who's around another man's baby. A lot of times those kids end up molested, or they end up really hurt. They end up in the hospital. All kind of horrible things happen to them. So, that, oh, you saw that video? Yeah, wasn't that a trip? That video was like, she was not. I mean, she was trying to, do it, on the DL. So I mean, it wasn't like she had the phone like out. She had it like down here, but you could clearly see his hand reach across her thigh, and she had the phone on one thigh, and you could see his hand wiggling around in, her area of her crotch. So I'm like, what the fuck is this dude doing? I mean, that alone is enough. If she took that to the police, the girl did, that would have his ass arrested. So, yeah. He got locked up, he did? Or is this a different story? Well, I hope he did. The mother had called on the phone while during the video was talking to him. And, he pulled his hand away while the mother was there. Then he put his hand right back after the mama hung up. But I'm just saying, these boyfriends, you got to watch these boyfriends, the stepfathers too, because those aren't their children. Those aren't their children. No matter how much they may claim to love you and all this stuff, those aren't their kids. And you better watch them. You better watch them really hard. Any man, really. Shit, even the fathers half the time it's all fucked up. Her mom blamed her. Whoa. Oh, that's good. Trying to follow his stepdaughter on the bus. I'm telling you, I don't know. So I didn't get remarried. My daughter's an adult now, but I just couldn't see where I needed to do all that. I was too scared. I didn't even like to have men around the house. And like my brothers, they came and visit a couple of times, but I don't know. I just have this thing. I just don't want her. I just didn't want her to be around no dudes. I just don't trust them fuckers. They're always trying some slick shit. Even if they don't actually physically touch your kid, they say something inappropriate. They want them to look at some porn. They, want them to, they pull their dick out to let them see it or something. I mean, they're always doing something that they don't have no business doing. It may not be something, like I said, that's, actual sexual assault, but it's something inappropriately sexual with your child. They're always doing some shit they don't have no business doing, saying something, having some kind of overly sexual adult conversation around the kid. It's always something that they really shouldn't be doing, and they know the fuck that they're doing it too, and they're doing it on purpose. So I don't know. That's probably pretty much all I have to say on this, but um, I'm gonna try to come back tomorrow and talk about. I forgot what I was gonna talk about tomorrow, but this just really bothered me. I just really kids are under assault, and our teenage daughters, I don't know, it's like, man, if you have a daughter and you're not her advocate, you're not her protector, you're not her, I mean, you understand, you like buddy buddy, as far as like, you drink and smoke with her and all that kind of stuff. I'm not talking about that kind of buddy. I mean the kind of buddy where, she knows that you are there for her even if nobody else is. Then what who does she have? Who's gonna be there for her? And if you like, abandon your daughter, you want to call your daughter fast because other men be hitting on her and all that stuff, why is that her fault? Those are adults. Don't you think they know what they're doing? She's a kid. Why are you blaming the kid? Why don't you blame those monkey ass men? That's the kind of stuff that I sit there and I look at these women and they do it and they say it with such venom. I mean, like spittle comes from their mouth and stuff. Their eyes be bucking out and whatnot. As they blame these little girls for what their men do to the girls. They flip it around to be her fault instead of him being a nasty pervert. I don't get that. I don't get it. Princess suggests a show on mothers being jealous of their daughters, which may be one of the reasons they want her to keep the baby. That could be because she's living too free and happy, huh? She's doing too well. Well, me and my friend Misha we talked about that a little. I forgot the name of the show, but I'll have to link it here. And we talked about the black women calling the kids fast. We talked about that, these mothers just seeming like they don't like their daughters too much. But we weren't talking about it necessarily from the pregnancy standpoint. It was just kind of some general stuff. But in this instance, you trying to set your daughter up to be stuck with a baby, that's kind of weird. I mean, I don't know about that. Yeah, it's been normalized. You're right. It wasn't normalized in my house because I told my daughter I will stomp that bitch baby out of you. So it's like, you know, I want you to be better than me. I want you to be greater. So I'll do everything I can to make sure that happens. But what's not going to happen is we are not going to have no damn baby. Six my when I was 14 years old, and men who were commenting on my body as I was walking. Yep. Stop switching your ass. What? Yeah, see, that's the mentality where they blame. That's why men always feel like, well, she shouldn't have been doing this, and she, and they feel like they don't have to take any responsibility for their behavior because you got dumb bitches like that woman that was hollering out the window, trying to blame the child, and the guys see that the girls don't have any protector, they don't have anybody on their side. So it's like open season. When you got women around a girl who's like that, they know that anything that happens, those women are going to blame her and they're going to take his side. So they just do this and do whatever the fuck they want to that little girl because she has no protection at all. And you dumb bitches are sitting around there just, trying to blame her instead of saying, look here, niggas, anybody touch her, I'm going to chop your hand off. You think you're going to screw, I'm going to cut your dick and your balls off. And then you're going to jail with what's left of you. So let me just get you straight. This is how this program is going to run with this little girl right here. Don't you put your hands on, don't you even think about it because you die. That's my thing. I just gives no fucks about all that. And I'd be extra hard on men anyway, but I don't know, this just really bothered me. I've been thinking about it all day. And so I said, okay, well when I feel like this about something, obviously it's something that needs to be discussed because there were so many women on this thread who wanted the girl to have the baby, and now she gonna have it. I mean, not just like, well, we would really prefer, but blah blah blah. Mm-mm. She gonna have it. Pro life. Nah, we don't do that. I mean, so this basically they're gonna force her to be a mother. That's essentially what was going on there, and that shit bothered me like crazy. But it is big Saturday night. It's still early out here on the West Coast. It's only 6:30, so I got to start a little bit earlier today in case y'all want to go run the streets, go on your dates, have your cuddle time with your man, watch Netflix, whatever you're going to do. So it's still early enough for you to do all of that. But I will try to make a slide tonight and make sure that you're a subscriber so that when I put up the show, when I put up the show, you'll get a notification that it's happening and what the topic is and stuff and the time, and then you can come back and join me some more, and we can continue having some really good discussions about dating and relationships here on the Debsterism channel. I thank everybody who stopped by today. I really appreciate you coming through and joining the discussion. Visit the blog on survivingdating.com and sign up as a subscriber and be sure to share a link or two. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye bye.